welcome to Scalemodeling and welcome to the Kawasaki Ninja ZX-12R motorcycle build by Tamiya. And this is part 4 of the video. If you're just coming this to the first time, you can go to the playlist and watch right through from the unboxing and review and up to where we are now. And saying where we are now is I'm going to do some a bit of work for the exhaust system. So we're looking at step 15 now that we're up to, and we need to put all the exhaust together. So here's all the parts. Now I know they're nicely chromed here on the sprue and ready to go, but what I've got is I've got some chrome paint coming. And once these halves are glued together, there's likely to be some seams and bits that need to be sanded. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take all the chrome off. Now you'll notice there's a piece missing here of the actual sprue. I'm doing that as a test piece at the moment and dissolving the chrome off it in some oven cleaner. And if all goes well, which I think it is at the moment, it's in there soaking at the moment, I'll drop this whole piece in there and bring this back to just the bare plastic, which, as I've noticed, is black plastic. So then I'll be able to put the pieces together, tidy them up, sand whatever needs to be sanded, clean them up, and then put some primer on there, put some black paint on there, and then put the chrome on there. So I'll go and soak this, and we'll come back and have a look at it with the chrome off it. But unfortunately I'm still waiting on my paint to arrive, so we can't paint it yet. But what we will be doing is skipping ahead to step 17, where we'll be doing some of the cowlings and the fairings, and getting all those parts all undercoated, because a lot of the instructions after the exhaust is putting all the body panels on and getting all that done, and all those need to be painted just like we previously black undercoated with the Outlaw Paints black primer. That's the front mudguard, and we've got to get all the other parts primed as well, as when the paint arrives we can start splashing that on. All right, so I'll be back in a second and we'll have a look at this all chromeless. Back in a sec. Okay, I'm back. So while all those that sprue's all soaking to get the chrome off, I'm come back to the body panels here, all the fairings, and I've just decided what I'm going to do is I'm going to undercoat these all on the sprue, but what I will do is I will detach some of the connection points, but most of them are located in places that are completely hidden, so that's really good. But some like these here, I'll take them off and just clean it up, but these are going to give me a place to hold these and make it easier to paint. And the same with these, so I'll cut sections off so that I can hold individual pieces and get them painted. And I'll do them all in the black primer. The insides of these are mostly all flat black. There is one section on the left and right side here where this part here is black, is meant to be black, so with the final coat that will have to be masked off across there quite easily, and that'll be done black. But otherwise it's all, the outside here will all be the red that I'm waiting on. But in the meantime I can paint these both sides in the black primer, so it's all ready. So I will do that. Okay, back again shortly. Okay, there's all the parts all individually taken off. I'll just use my little alligator clips to hold those. I'll go and paint them up. Back again in a sec. Okay, I'm back, and here's the chrome parts that were chrome, now completely black. The oven cleaner took it off probably within about 20 minutes. So it's still wet. I've washed them with water. They're just drying. But yeah, fantastic. All ready to put together and then paint them. So I'll wait for them to dry. We'll start putting them together in step 15. In the meantime, I'll just quickly show you the undercoated fairings and other parts of the bike. Back in a sec. All right, so there they all are. Get a look there. That beautiful, beautiful coverage, eh? It's just gone on really nice. There's the front of the bike. All done. And so, like I said, I undercoated them on the sprue. When it comes to doing the base coat, a lot of these will be done on the black on the inside. I'll do them from this as they are, but then I'll paint the actual red when the red goes down. I'll take these sprue pieces off and we'll attach them differently, I think. I just need to check, make sure, but I'm fairly sure all those attachment points are all in areas that won't be seen. So little touch-ups there won't do it any harm. But you can see that Outlaw Paints, how beautiful that goes on there. It's just amazing. All right, I'll be back and we will put together the muffler and exhaust system. Back in a sec. Okay, so step 15, and all we need to do is remove all these parts. Plus there's the headers for the exhaust, E15 and E14, which are on the black sprue here. Yes, so there they are there. E14, E15. Okay, so I'll get these off the sprue, clean them up a bit, and then we'll get them all glued together. Should be back in a sec. Okay, so these are going along nicely. All cleaned up, starting to glue the parts together. These bits are glued together with the two ends in, so that's the back of the muffler there. It fits perfectly, really fits beautifully. I've done all the seam lines off for this, so they're all nice, neat and rounded. They're glued together now. There were two pieces there, the upper and lower of the pipes. But this part here, this needs to be glued on to that to make that a pipe, but we can't do that until this is in place because of the curve that's in it. So the idea is to roughly get that on where it's going to be like that, I think. Yeah, there we go. It's going to be like that, and then this slides in here like that. So once that's in there, now I can glue that. So I'll probably just clamp this either side and then run some glue, let that seep through. And then it's just a matter of attaching this into here, and that will be the whole exhaust and muffler system done. Okay, now I just need to wait for this to dry because there is a bit of a join seam mark that I'm going to have to just sand that back a little bit because I can just feel it there with my nail where it catches, so we don't want to see the join. And but this part here I can glue up now. Okay, so I'll do that and I'll come back and we'll have a look when it's all ready. All right, so there's our exhaust system with the muffler attached, all ready to go. Cleaned up the seam line on both sides of the muffler, so that's all going to be fine. What I'm going to do now is I'll grab the primer, Outlaw Paints primer. I'll give it a nice coat of that and let that dry, and then I need to put black on it, and then we'll get the chrome. And that paint, I've just been notified, will be definitely arriving tomorrow. So all good for that. We can get this painted up. We can get the red on our fairings and get a bit more progress going. All right. So yeah, I shall return and we'll have a look at this and a bit more progress. I'll be back in a sec. G'day, welcome back. So good news, the paint came in and here it is. So we've got our beautiful red that we're going to be doing for the bike. It's going to look really, really nice. We've got chrome, so all those chrome parts, the exhaust, which is still just here actually, all undercoated. That's going to be all chromed up. On top of that, we've got our beautiful gloss black, and this is a high gloss black. So that'll go on first, and then we'll spray on the chrome. And then of course we've got the gloss clear for the panels that are beautiful red panels. All right, so good stuff. I better go and apply some paint, eh? All right. I will do the exhaust pipe and muffler first, and then we'll do the body panels and we'll get that beautiful red on, see how that looks. Okay, we'll be back shortly. Oh, and of course I should always mention that Outlaw Paints, there'll be a link in the description below if you want to order these. Depending on when you view this video, could be available from your local hobby shop wherever you are. Otherwise, go to the website, all the details there, and all their products are there, including all your postage and so forth that you need to know. All right, the best paint on the planet as far as I'm concerned. Just incredible stuff, as you have noticed with the build so far, and you will see as we go on. All right, back in a minute. Hello, welcome back. So there's our exhaust and muffler, all done in the chrome, the Outlaw Paints chrome. Come up really, really nice. And I've just undercoated all the other parts of the fairing in the Outlaw Paints grey, and I'll show you those when they're dried off a little bit. Literally did it 5 minutes ago, and we'll have a look at how really nice they look, even though they're just in a primer. They're amazing, and we'll be right back. Okay, back again. Now, I haven't painted this yet. I know I said I was going to clear coat it, but then I realised I want to try and do the heat stains on the exhaust. And I've been watching a few videos trying to learn how to do it. And as far as I know, I need to have clear orange, which I have. I need to get some clear red and clear blue, which I don't have, which means I'm going to have to wait a few days until I can get some in. So there's no point in clear coating this at the moment. So we'll just put this aside, and I'll study up a bit on how to go about doing this and get these heat stains to somehow look good. And yeah, it should be interesting. So until then, we'll go on, and I'll show you now panels for the bike. Here we go. So there's the front, all done in the grey. The inside has been finished in the matte black, so that's all good. All I need to do is on this is the red base coat. There's the side fairing, looking nice, and of course the matte black's done on the inside there. There's the other one. Look at them both. There they are. Okay, that won't take long to dry. I'll give that, you know, another 20 minutes or so, and then I'll start putting the red on. There's the front fender. All right, and then we've got these couple of side panels on here, all done grey, and a couple more panels, which is the side of the fuel tank, both sides of that. The other bits are left black because they're going to be, actually it's going to be black Of course, the inside are already done in the matte black. Looking nice. All right, so the next time you see these, they'll be red. Hopefully looking really nice and red. Okay, I'll be back shortly. Okay, hello, welcome back. So it's the next day, and I've done the painting, I've done the red, and it's come up really, really nice. I just wanted to show you, I've just done some color adjustments on the monitor, so it's pretty much as accurate as you can imagine I could get it to look. So that is, as the red looks to my eyesight, is what it's showing on the camera. And you can see that Outlaw Paints has just gone on like I don't know what, like butter. Beautiful. There's the tank. This I'll mask off and do this section black. Look at the shine on that. That's really beautiful paint. There's a couple more pieces there on the side. We got the front fairing is there. Still got the tape on that. Beautiful. Look at that. Magic. And it just went on so easy. I mean, that's, you know, there's the front guard. Looking nice. And if you think that looks really nice now, that ain't nothing. Because there's the bit that goes over the rear of the bike. Look at that. Because I still have to clear coat it. Okay, so I've still got, here's my Outlaw Paints. This is a gloss clear. I've never used this before, and I'm about to go and put this on now and see what sort of difference it makes. Now, obviously I want to be careful, make sure I get no dust around like I have with these. Once I painted these, I put them in a large plastic container with a lid on there, just so that they would dry and there'd be no dust, and it's just flawless. It's come up beautiful. So when I spray the clear coat, I'll do the same thing. I'll leave them overnight, and then we'll come back and have a look at just how beautiful and clear they are. So just remember what that looks like now and what it's going to look like in the next shot. All right. Now, I'm going into the hobby shop tomorrow, and I will be collecting some little extra paints just to do these bits to give them that worn look, the heat marks on the exhaust pipe, and I'll get those done. Another thing I've never tried, so I need a clear orange, clear red and clear blue to do that. So that'll be the next thing I do. So yeah, other than that, there's our bike parts waiting for that front fender. We'll be able to put all that together once that fender's done. Sorry, that glare is not too good for that. That's probably looking a bit better. There's the front fork. Looking good. There's our wheel there with the disc brake on there, all done up and detailed up, looking nice. Same matching gold bronzy color that I've got on the engine. And been a while since you've looked. There's our tank motorcycle. Jeez, there's our motorcycle at this stage and how it's looking. All right, so I'll get these painted up, and I shall be back shortly. Okay, welcome back. So there we go. There's all our pieces, all clear coated now and looking really nice. Look at the reflection in that. Beautiful. I sprayed them last night and dried overnight, and it just looks magical. And you may notice that there's sprue is still connected to sprues, but a lot of the location points for the sprues are in areas that won't be seen. So that's why I left the sprue on most of them, mainly just to hold them while I painted. But very nice, eh? Look at that. Look at that. There's the fuel tank. Looking nice with our flat black on that panel there. And well, good. That's the part I need next, which is that front fender, and that's going to be allow me now to put the front forks and front wheel together and on the bike. And we'll do that by going back to, I think it's as far as step 13, maybe earlier. Yeah, step 11. So I'll put these aside somewhere safe, and we'll get those other parts over and we'll start on that. Okay. Again, Outlaw Paints. Beautiful, beautiful. All right, back shortly. Hello, welcome back. So there it is. It's on, and unfortunately I couldn't do it on camera because being the first time I've ever built a motorbike and tried to install these front forks, I can tell you it was quite a struggle, but it went in. It was basically having to get the two locating notches in the guard into the side of the shock absorbers, and at the same time having them hook over the pins at the back here, all without scraping the paint off. That was the important bit, and it's in. Now all I've just got to do now to tighten it up is do up the screw that goes through here, and that'll just make that, firm that up, I think. Just see how far that goes in. That's looking good. That's about it there. And the wheel turns. That's the important thing. I will loosen it off a little bit, just a fraction. And there we go. So it sits in on the brake calipers beautifully there on both sides, and it turns. It's going to go that way. Just checking. Yeah, that's the way. Something catching there. What's that? It's okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's fine. All right. So there we go. It's on. Looking nice. Now, I guess this was on step 11, and that completes step 11 now. One thing to remember is the direction of the tire. There's a little arrow on the thing that tells you the rotation of the wheel, so make sure that it's facing the right way and you won't have any problems. Okay, that's good. All right, so that means I can cross off step 11 and we can go over to step 12. We did step 12, that's part of the fairings and the fuel tank. Step 13 is actually putting this on the bike. So let me get the bike over here and we'll try and do that on camera. Okay, we'll be back in a sec. Okay, so here's our bike, and what we've got to remember here is there's these two lines coming down that go down to the brake calipers on each side. These go through the holes in the forks there. It should just connect up in there like that. There we go. Push it in all the way, I guess. And that's it. That's it. They're in. Good. That'll get glued in place, and there we go. Our wheel turns. Very good. Starting to look a bit more like a bike. Now these lines will go down, and they should reach down onto the top of those brake calipers on each side, which they do look a little bit short for some reason. Let me just check that. If I can grab that, reach down to there. Yeah, it is too. How about that? On this side, they're both a bit short. Make sure that's straight. That would help. Huh. Oh, I see what's happened. It's a bit twisted. It looks like it's got to go. It's got to go on inside the forks. That's what I was doing wrong. So if I thread that down into there, bring it up here. There it is. And now it reaches. Fantastic. So that's going to go on to there. And it's pretty much just like that. Get a bit more light on. There we go. Yep. That's fine. All right, I'll just get the other side connected and we'll take a look at her. Back in a sec. Okay, so done. Look at the side there. Everything's on. The line's connected onto the brake calipers. I've glued the shock absorbers up into the top underneath there. And there it is, looking really good. There we go, and the wheel turns, so same as the back wheel, so we're all good. Excellent. That crosses off step 13. Now we can jump right up to, I was going to say step 15, but that's the exhaust, which I've still got to do a bit of painting work yet. We need to do the heat stains, heat marks on that exhaust yet. So might come back to that. Otherwise, there might be some other panels we can put on. Yeah, there's a couple of bits. So let me have a look at, for instance, I'll put step 17 up. And 17 is putting the windscreen onto the upper cowl, which is this part here. So we need to put the windscreen in here, which I guess we can do. And also, what else? On step 17, oh, some of this side cowling has a couple of little pieces that need to get fitted on, which we've already all got painted up. So that'll be on these here. So there's a piece to go in here and another piece to go on the side here. All right, so let me get this out of the way and we'll take a look at doing that. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so here it is, the beautiful windscreen piece in here, which I'll just take off the sprue now. Come off like that. We've got our headlight covers as well, they'll go on after. So this, I just need to, just going to tidy up that little bit there. And then this fits from underneath. So we'll have a look. Well, I'll just get this bit cleaned up first. I'm going to carefully trim that off there. That's it. Nicely. That's good. All right, that's probably it there, I think. Get under there. There. Now we'll just do a quick test fit, and it's supposed to go that way. Some nice location points for those tabs there. And oh yeah, that's perfect. That sits in there perfectly. All right. So what I'll do is I'll use my MIG ammo canopy glue. I'll carefully put that in those little locations on the side of that. It'll dry perfectly clear. For those who don't know, that's this one here, MIG ammo glue. I've got some already mixed up here, and I'll apply it with one of my little brushes I got, like this one. And I'll pop that in there, and I'll come back when it's on. Back in a sec. Okay, we're back, and there's our canopy, well, not canopy, but our windscreen on. went on perfectly. The glue's dried completely clear. Obviously I've only done this 10 minutes ago, so it's not completely dry, but it's fine. There's a few little spots of dust, that's all. I'll wipe them off after it's dried, but yeah, that's gone on looking really nice, as you can see. So I'll leave that aside. Now I've started on the side fairings here with these little, I think they're like little aerodynamic strips that go in. So there's one on each side, there's one there, I've just fitted that one. This one I'm just going to fit onto this side here, glue it on. And then there's a couple of pieces that go on the, I'm sort of figuring it goes on here. I don't know. Can't get my head around the shape. It's confusing me. But yeah, we'll get to it. They're actually these parts here. If I can grab one. It's these ones here that we've got to put on next. But let me put that side on first, and then we'll tackle these. Okay, I'll be back in a second. Okay, so those are on. No problem. These I found their location. So there you go in here. Just take that off. Locating points, make it easy. Just got to position it in there in the right spot. Get it. I'm holding it completely wrong. It's going to go like that. Okay. There we go. Yeah, I'll glue that in place after I trim the nub off the side of that. And the same with the other one. So I'll do them and return. Okay, so that's those on. One on there, one on there. Beautiful. Look at that. Okay, so that completes those there. Step 17. And yeah, well, that's done. Now we can go over to 18, which includes, looks like putting the rear pillion passengers section together, and then the fuel tank. All right, so let me get those out. We'll get them done. Back in a sec. Okay, so there's the rear section on. That was a little bit tricky because there is a piece of sprue that goes across and joins the two sides of this that you just put on temporarily while you're gluing this on. And I'd actually thrown that piece out. It was it was A9 on the sprue, and it's just a straight piece, and I've thrown out the sprue when I thought I had all the parts off, and I didn't. But anyway, I managed to put these on and then join it. It's fine, and it's come up okay, so that'll be all right. And then we've got this part here, which sits on the top, which I'll put on there like that. That sits on there like that. But then it says, remove after cement has cured. Yeah, so you remove that piece in between and then you take this off, and I'm not sure what's going to go there. Probably the rear seat. Looks like the rear seat. We shall find out. Okay, but that's where we're at. Now the second part of step 18 is the fuel tank. We've got to join the two sides of the fuel tank together and put the centerpiece in on the fuel tank, which is still on the sprue and I haven't painted yet. There's also a decal to go on that as well, as you can see there on number 18, step 18. So let's get that together, eh? Yeah, there's also a decal to go on the fuel tank as well, but that's getting to the next step. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves. All right, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so here's our fuel tank cover. And as you can see, they just join together, locating points at each end. And that fits really nicely. Look at that. And now we need to do this, which I just took off the sprue. This needs to be undercoated and then painted in gloss black, and then a decal goes on there. So I've got a bit of work to do to put that on. In fact, I'll just do a quick test fit. Take that off, clean that off there a bit. That should be it. It's good. And just holding that together, pop that on there. And yep, that's going to go into there perfectly. All right, so I've got a bit of work to do. I'll glue them together and then I'll go get this painted up. And while I'm at it, I will just check if there's anything else need painting. And as far as I can tell, there is the rear seat, which is still on the sprue here. Pillion and passenger. This needs to be done in the black as well. And B33 is this the actual seat itself. We also need to paint that. And I think it's two different colors. We checked that because they've got X18, which is the black, and then XF1. Just check what that comes up at. XF1 is flat black and semi-gloss black. Okay, so we'll have to tape up a little bit to the back. So we got the flat black, I think it is there, or the seat itself is flat black. Yeah, flat black is the seat, and then we'll mask that up. All right, so I'll get that off and we'll get some paint on it. Be back in a sec. Hey, welcome back everybody. So I've just working on the seat here. I've painted the gloss black all over it pretty much, and now I've taped it all up. I've used a bit of liquid mask as well, so I can get that edge around, because it's quite a curve there, and I don't have masking tape that's going to really go around the curve of the back of that seat. So I've used some of this FlyHawk liquid mask. Great stuff, really good stuff. And then I've taped up the rest, and then I sprayed the seat just the matte black. So that's looking good. It's drying fairly quick, so I'll be able to take this off pretty shortly. In the meantime, I've got these other parts here with the top of the tank and the back seat, excuse me, ready to clear coat, as well as that seat that I also just showed you. So I'll clear coat those. What I'm also doing is, before I tackle the exhaust, which we have here, to get these heat marks in the exhaust, I'm going to practice on a spoon. So I've just undercoated a plastic spoon. I'm going to hit it with a gloss black and then the chrome, just like this was done. And then I'm going to do a bit of practice with the clear colors to get that exhaust burn look, heat marks on it. And when I'm happy, I'll tackle the real thing. All right, but for now, this can wait. It's just that I need to get this on before the side panels can go on the bike. So I need to get this finished. All right, so I shall be back shortly. Hey, welcome back. So I'm just doing the decals at the moment. There's a little decal that goes on the fuel filler section of the tank up on there, which I've just put that on there. I've got another one just about here to go on the fuel tank on here. And that's in step 19, so I've jumped a little bit ahead to do that. But once this decals are on, then we'll have finished step 18. All I need to do is attach this onto there, and we're good to go. I don't remember if I showed you or not, but this is all being clear coated, and I've done the matte black on the actual seat itself. So it's looking really nice. These are all clear coated as well. So yeah, coming up well. So I'll just get this decal on here, and then we'll move on to step 19. But I need to check the exhaust. It looks like I might not be able to put that side fairing on until the exhaust is on. I've got the spoon that I'm going to practice on with the black gloss on it. I'm about to go and put chrome on it, and I can do a bit of experimenting with some paints to get some heat marks on it. Okay, we'll be back again in a sec. Okay, so there's our top of the fuel tank on. We've got the two decals in position. And now we just need to put this on top of there. And this is in step 19, which I'll put up in the corner. Okay, so pretty much this does not get glued in. Always take note of that. That's going to slide down in the front. There's two little locating pins on the front here and here that go in. And when they're in their position, like they are there, we just press down on the back like that, and it's on. There we go. Looks good. Now the next step in this is putting this on the back, which we already did because we had to do that to help glue it. So that's all on. And then we need to put the side cowling on this side. It's saying just on the right side at this stage. This is the side where the exhaust is. Well, the exhaust sort of runs underneath as well, so I need to check the clearance. There'll be two screws that go in to hold this cowling on, so it doesn't get glued on either. It's just getting screwed into place. So let me see. I might do a test fit to see if the exhaust can be fitted after the cowling. Otherwise, we'll just go straight on to step 20 and we'll put the seat on as well as the back parcel shelf or cover for the back pillion seat. So actually, yeah, I'm thinking we might just do that anyway. I'll leave this side off. We'll just work on the top. So I'll grab the seat now and the back bit and we'll put them on. Okay, I'll be back in a sec. Okay, so here's our seat, which just has one little connection where that goes into the hole in the bottom of the seat there. So we just place that in like that and press it down. And there we go, that just clicked in beautifully. Just make sure that's down on both sides. Yeah. Yeah. It looks good. Very nice. And now this piece here also has a couple of connection points that sit on there. It's going to go like that. I think that's it. Looks right. I'm just trying to... Does it say to glue that down? I'm just checking on that. No glue on either of these pieces. Okay, that's fine. Excellent. And I think there's this final piece here, which will actually go over the top of that. Like that. Look at that, there we go. Very nice, indeed. There we go, yeah. All right. Now we can actually put on the windscreen, I guess. That's in step 20. I'll just turn this around and work out how we're going to do this. Well, it should be pretty simple, really. It's just got to stick straight into the front here, two locating points. So here's our windscreen, looking really nice. There it is. And I suppose I can cut those two bits of sprue off now. I'll do that. I'll come back and we'll, I guess we'll slide that on and see how it looks. Be back in a second. Okay, so this does slide on perfectly. Because pretty much that's it. There it is. Excuse me. Right, but it needs to go on after that side cowling goes on because there's two little notches that are going to line up on the outside of that cowling. this has to sit over the top of it, so this goes on after it does. But yeah, at least I know it fits nicely. Look at that. All good. So I will take that off for now. Well, actually, we'll just leave it there because it's a safe spot there for it. And yeah. So now, all right. So actually, what I've decided to do is the exhaust only goes down one side of the bike, of course. So what I'll do is I'll put the cowling on the side that doesn't have the exhaust, which is actually the side facing me here. So we should be able to put it on this side here, and it won't have any problem with the exhaust. So I'll just remove that, put that aside, and now we'll just grab our piece of cowling and have a look at how this is going to fit. And there it is there, looking nice, looking very nice. And we need 2 screws, looks like. Yeah, there'll be 2 screws. We'll grab those and we'll just do a quick test fit. So I can see one point there where it's going to screw into, and the other one will be down here someplace. Let me just line that up and have a look. That sits. There we go. So we'll put that on there. Kickstand out. Okay. Oh yes, I see where that's going to go to. It's going to connect down there. That one's going to go to there. That looks pretty much all right. Yeah. Very good. All right, I'll go get the screws I need, and I'll put this on and we'll be right back. Okay, so there it is on the side. Went on absolutely perfectly. Everything fits well. Kickstand, nothing gets in the way of that, so it's all fine. Yeah, looking really nice. And I did test fit that front cowling again, and I pushed it on, and it just basically lines up with these 2 spots here absolutely perfectly. So that'll be fine. So yeah, looking good. It does cover up quite a bit of detail that I have all hidden behind there, but at least it's screwed on and you can remove it if I needed to. And you can still see quite a bit around here, so it's all good. All right, next part is I really need to get onto that exhaust, don't I? And start working on that. And then we've got areas around the back here where the number plate is. We've got tail lights to put on. We've got mirrors to put on the front too. That's all coming up. Okay, be back again soon. Okay, before I do that, there was something I completely forgot about, and I noted it back on step 12, putting the lenses on for the headlights. I don't know why I put them be done later, but they pretty much go straight on there now. So I think I was going to wait until I put that on the bike, but yeah, so that's going to sit straight in there. So let me take this off the sprue, pop them on, and we'll have a look how they look. It's going to look better with that front cowling over the top, isn't it, if they've got lenses on here. All right, be back in a sec. Okay, so I got it off the sprue and put it on, and we're not to glue these. There's 2 little attachment points, and all it says is press them in, which I did, and there they are. And then of course this will go over the top like that. Okay. Perfect. And those 2 points down there will match up exactly. Okay, beautiful fit, just amazing fit. All right, Fantastic. All right, now I will promise you I will, I think, yeah, that I can mark that off as done now. Move on forward. And let me just check what else I can get done. I'll be back in a sec. Okay, I'm back again. I just test fitted the exhaust because I was a bit concerned that I wouldn't get it in because of this cowl I put on, even though I could unscrew it and take it back off. I did have to remove the little plastic stand, but other than that, that's how it's going to fit inside. Okay, now a lot of this will be covered by the cowling that's going to go over here. So to give you a brief look, put this on the right way around, that is going to go, how are we, like that, like that, I think. No, I'll figure it out which way it's going on, but yeah, that's going to go on like this. So a lot of that exhaust will be covered except for it coming up at the back here, but I still will do all the marks and that through there in case I probably, if it comes up really good and I'm happy with it, I'll just display it with this off. I'll just have that sitting beside the bike. But it will fit, it all fits in there good, so I've got no problem with that. But the video is getting a bit long and I want to spend a lot of time on this exhaust. I still got to practice on the spoon that I'm getting chromed up to practice on before I do it on the exhaust itself, which it is there. So I will leave that for the next video. That's the best way. All right, so yeah, thank you very much for watching so far. Please, if you've got any comments below, put them down there. Questions or anything like that, or tips or whatever, that'd be great. Give us a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video, which will be part 5 of our Kawasaki Ninja ZX-12R build. All right, see you all then. Bye for now. Cheers.